This shows Harriet Tubman at a very young age checking muskrat traps. Muskrats are rodents that are common in this area. Most muskrat traps were checked in the late fall or early winter when their pelts were the thickest. They were caught for their pelts. So this shows Harriet Tubman and the muskrat. And you can see she's ankle deep in water. She's not wearing any shoes. She's not wearing a hat, and she's wearing rags. She's absolutely miserable. And the quote says, "I used to sleep on the floor and cry and cry and cry. If I could only get home and get in my mother's bed." So that drive to go home and be with her family members was within young Tubman from a very, very early age. And the next section I'd like to highlight is the Bucktown Village store incident. So when Tubman was about a teenager, she went to the Bucktown Village store with the plantation cook, and an angry overseer was there. Tubman walked in, and there was a runaway slave. And so the overseer said, "Grab that slave," and Tubman said no. So he picked up a 2-pound weight and he threw it, meaning to hit the slave. Instead, he hit Harriet Tubman right above her eye and her skull and knocked her out. She said the last thing she remembers was him raising his hand with the weight in it. She received no medical care. She was taken from the store and sat on a loom next door where she bled and bled. Her owner even made her go to work the next day, but she said she tried to work, but she couldn't because there was so much blood and sweat dripping down into her eyes. So her mother tried to help her recuperate and mend her, but then her owner decided, you know, she's not doing any work, I'm going to try to sell her. So he brought people in to poke and prod at her while she was trying to recover, and when she couldn't be sold, he said, "You're not even worth a 6 pence." So after that time, that was a horrific physical injury for young Harriet Tubman, but it opened up a new world for her. We think she got temporal lobe epilepsy, which allowed her to have these amazing visions and a direct connection to God. She heard voices, she heard people singing, she saw these amazing things and had these very vivid dreams. So it was terrible on the physical side, but absolutely amazing for her faith. I think anyone should visit this center to build a connection to Harriet Tubman in her life. I want people to know that Harriet Tubman was just a normal person. She wasn't a superhero with a cape and these amazing powers. She's a regular woman who was born into slavery. She remained illiterate for all of her life, but she did amazing things for her family and friends. She had everything against her, but she lived this amazing life and she made a difference. And I want people to know that you can make a difference in your normal life, no matter who you are.